Hey, this is Kate and Adam with ENTA Asks, and we have something super special coming up. Dominic Lindia and Anthony Trotta. We are talking to real live in the Calgary industry, film actors, directors, and we get all of the backstage passes. Come check it out.
Let's get rolling. Today we got a pretty cool episode. In fact, I'm feeling a little intimidated because we have real live director and actor on the set with us. We have Dominic Lindia, who's a director in the film industry here in Calgary, and we have Anthony Trotta, who's an actor. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Great to be here today.
We're hanging out with the pros.
Yeah,
this is so exciting.
Right? One step closer to Hollywood. Right?
Yeah, exactly. What we love to talk about on this show, guys, is like kind of origin stories and like how you ended up here, right? And I think that's super interesting because it's not every day you get to meet actors and producers and directors, right? And so how did you get into directing, Dominic?
So especially being in Calgary with there being such little amounts of directing and programs and stuff like that, I really realized that from such a young age, it's always what I wanted to do. And as the world progressed and more people became more creative here in Calgary with music and film, I was like, this is something that I can totally do and I can make a career out of. And as I met people like Anthony and all my other like people that I work with, like actors and other producers, I realized this is actually feasible. Whereas maybe 5-10 years ago in Calgary, it wasn't as feasible.
Did you go to school for it?
So I go to school currently in California at the San Diego City College for directing and writing and producing. So that all together, getting to step out of Canada kind of gave me a broader horizon of what I wanted to do in terms of directing. So.
When was the first movie? When, like, what
So
age?
the first movies was around like when I was 10 or 11, and I just had the little Legos, and I was like, you know what, this would be kind of cool, just on my little bed. I was like, and as I kind of slowly mounted, I got more friends involved, and they kind of knew me as the guy with the camera. So that's kind of how I met Anthony and all that through family, and then just kind of mounted to something more when I got better gear, and it just slowly worked into this.
Okay, so trying to picture like 10-year-old, you got the Legos, like what was the plot that you came up with?
Oh, everyone that knows me knows I'm a really big like superhero fan,
Okay.
Batman, Spider-Man.
Gotcha.
So it was just a lot of fight scenes and stuff like that. But as that
Like
kind
crashing together,
yeah,
right?
As
Yeah.
that slowly amounted to something, I was like, you know what, I can't really keep doing this forever because I'm not a pro in animation. So I was like, yeah, I got to drift a little bit more towards becoming a better writer, better director. And as that slowly came up, I was like, you know what, let's get a bunch of guys together and just let's make a movie.
Right. So do you have movies growing up that kind of inspired you to get behind the camera?
Just movies that I've always loved. Just like I said, big superhero fan, just all the Batman movies, all the Spider-Man movies, all that kind of stuff. Because I realized like these.
So even Batman and Robin?
I love that movie. So yeah, even Batman and Robin, that was one of the biggest ones actually, because I was like, if someone like me, even from such a young age, grew into a director like this and can make a movie like this, I'm like, then why can't I?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Amazing.
Anthony, what about you? Like, did you always want to be an actor?
I feel like it kind of happened naturally. Like I was kind of had the same path as Dominic as a kid. Like I'd always make short little movies on like my iPod with my cousins or whatever. Or we'd have like plays at like family dinners that we'd put on like after dinner for the family. And that slowly evolved into me going to acting classes. And in high school, I thought I was going to be done with acting, and it just so happened I had a spare. And I was like, I might as well fill it with like a drama class. And that just evolved into, even more productions and plays, and me loving that environment of acting, being on the stage with other actors too. And now I'm going to school for it, so.
Naturally. Different school, same school?
Different schools. I'm at the University of Calgary, so I stayed at home for school.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So did you have, in this journey, like you took your drama class, were there any like teachers or mentors that kind of inspired you to pursue this passion?
Yeah, I'd say my high school drama teacher really kind of pushed me to continue a career in drama, just because she was so on the directing side, just professionally, she knew what needed to be done. That's also kind of what I see in Dominic, why I always work with him. He knows what he wants to get done, he gets it done, but he also makes it fun, which is what I kind of grew up with, especially, in high school. That's what always surrounded me.
Right.
It was always just fun. That's why I stay with it.
Excellent. What is one of your favorite movies?
My favorite movie is La La Land, just because it kind of blends my two worlds of like music and acting. And yeah, I feel like
So did you do musical theater too then?
Sometimes it wasn't my main focus. I kind of kept them separate because I wasn't the best singer. So like I can hold a tune, but
And you got moves? You got to be able to dance then.
I mean, you know, not professionally trained or anything, but
You dabble.
yeah.
Okay.
I can do a nice box step, but that's about it.
Hey, every musical has a box step.
Yeah.
I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
So how did you guys meet?
Through family friends, like our dads became friends like a couple years ago, and just years ago, Anthony and I kind of met just through them, and then we kind of fell out of touch. And then recently, I was just working on a couple projects. Like I'm just going through people that I wanted to work with, and just old people, like cast members and stuff like that. I was like, you know what? I wonder what Anthony's up to. I haven't talked to him in a long time. I know he's been acting for a little bit, so I just gave him a call, and he's like, yeah, I'd love to work with you. And we just kind of hit it right back off. Hadn't seen each other in years, and just we kind of grew that relationship back, and just been going there ever since.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So now that you have a collaborator, Anthony is an actor. When you're thinking of your next film or whatever, do you think of the character and then say, hey, Anthony, I want you to play this character? Or do you kind of have Anthony's inspiration to build the character? Like, what's the process there?
With any good film or any good story, what you want to do, especially in Calgary where there's not as many resources as say Hollywood or Vancouver, what you want to do is really see what you have and then build your story around that. So if you have a diner or you have a barbershop, you want to build that into your story so that your story has a bigger production value and it looks a lot better than it can be on such a smaller budget. So that's what I do is if I have a certain amount of actors, I don't go searching for the impossible actor to go play the grizzled criminal. I just go with what I have. If I have Anthony and I have a couple other people, I fill them into the role the best they can, and then you work a story around it. So you basically have to be very conservative with what you do.
That's interesting. There's a lot of strategy that's going on.
It's a lot of strategy, it's a lot of planning, and if the biggest problem a lot of directors face is if they miscast someone, it's gonna take the whole story apart because everyone else is so believable, but if that one person isn't believable, it all falls apart.
It does. It really does. You have to have everybody in the exact right.
Exactly.
Yeah, amazing. So how do I get a role?
Well, you're already, you and Adam are already in the next one.
Yes!
C. Johnson, there you go.
He makes an amazing Batman.
I dabble.
That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on our show, and we really look forward to the next episode where we're going to talk about rolling out this red carpet because you have a premiere coming out.
Oh, we do.
And
1 week from now.
1 week from now. So we're going to talk about that and kind of the journey and what the story is behind there. We want to get everybody ready to go. So if they want to see some of the amazing stuff that you're doing, where do they check you out?
So you guys can all just check me out on my YouTube, Dominic Lindia. The link will be in the description. And at the end of the day, come by, show a little bit of support. We have people like me and Anthony and so many of our other cast members that just pour their heart and soul into these videos. So love for you to check them out, and it would really help if you did.
Amazing. Gotta support local, guys. Plus, throw in the comments that you should cast Caitlin in this next video. Just, I mean, help us.
You can even suggest a role if you want. She does a great Maleficent.
I do. I've dabbled.
Right.
No, amazing. Thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you so much for having us.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Awesome.
Oh, can I get a mic drop?
That was so
Epic. Join us next time on ENTA Asks.